The Kentucky Derby Glue Factory Bomb edition of the Bottom Line Bombs on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy pick'em for a chance to win 100 times in NBA, MLB, MMA, NHL, and golf, and more. Sign up today at UnderdogFantasy.com using promo code BOMBS and to get 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by NYRA Bets. Sign up today for a $25 free bet and $200 deposit bonus with SGPN 25. Go to nyrabets.com/SGPN 25. And with that, we'll start the theme song because we got a Derby show to get to. I am the Bet Detective. Let's do this. Man in the box bomb.
Kentucky Derby.
No, here we are. Welcome. Bottom line bombs. Bottom line bombs. Bottom line bombs. Fucking hammered. We are the man in the box. Sorry. Got a little carried away from me. Welcome to the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, the Bet Detective, the Laddie Daddy, the man in the Exacta box. It is Thursday, May 2nd. The day before Kentucky Derby, we're doing a Kentucky Derby Bombs edition. If you're watching live on YouTube, I have my Sixers hat on. I also have a horse racing hat, a lot of degenerate scumbag gambler hat. A lot to get to today. I will give out Kentucky Derby picks, some exactas, some trifectas, some quinellas. Also, a couple of the NBA. And of course, we have NBA and NHL playoff action. I'll throw a few of those in there. And, of course, a Man in the Box segment at the end of the program, as we always do here. As we always do about this time. But first, welcome. Here we are. I'm in the studio all by myself today. I'm always in the studio by myself. That's why I'm the man in the box. No help, no producer. But now they said, here, lock up the keys. We're heading out for the weekend, baby. Kramer and Sean, although we did a Patreon episode, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I killed it. And did a UFL show. I gave out a 200-to-1 shot there. No problem. Whatever. We'll see what happens. Anyway, now you're in the box. Now you're in the Bottom Line Bombs. And we have to talk about a lot of things. We'll get to some basketball. Last episode, we lost in the Pelicans. We lost the Lakers. I should have known. Everyone had the Lakers plus 7.5. I thought they were going to quit like gentlemen and get out of there, but we did win the Milwaukee Bucks. Chopped their hockey too. But we were wrong on the Lakers. I should have known the Lakers know how to lose. LeBron just knows how to lose to make it look like it's not his fault. And you just got to fire the coach. And now everyone's just blaming Darvin Ham. All the Darvin Ham stories are coming out. He doesn't care. He's defending. He knows he's out. I should have put it together. LeBron's going to lose, but he's not going to lose like, oh, it's on him. He's going to do what he does. He rants and raves, throws his little hissy fits. Everyone's talking about the challenge thing, which is hilarious. There was the game 4 where LeBron had a hissy fit. He went crazy because they didn't challenge a play. And then Denver just inbounded and had a free layup, but no one cares because it's LeBron. You got to listen to LeBron. LeBron says you challenge it. Doesn't matter the rules. So the same thing happened in game 5 in Denver. He wanted a challenge. This was a tighter game in Denver 3 minutes ago, and you use your final timeout because LeBron throws a hissy fit. Him and Anthony Davis spazzing out. And they weren't even right on that challenge. They gave him they did reverse the call, but they did it just to save some kind of face. The NBA stepped in like, yeah, just give it to them because that's their last timeout. Which is a ridiculous rule, by the way, that you lose your timeout. But how do you lose your timeouts with 3 minutes to go? Because you're listening to goddamn LeBron and all these challenges. So now everyone's with Darvin Ham out, and he will be out. You hear the stories about him. Good guy. All the Darvin Ham stories. Good guy. Good father. Respect him as a man. Terrible coach. He cannot coach. It did take him about 50 games to figure out his starting lineup. I will give him that. Hey, Feach Lamana says, finally catching the live show again. How you doing, CJ? We're doing good. We'll get a bomb for that. Feach, come on in, buddy. It's always so messy with the Lakers season ending. Which, I will say this. Even if they did lose on purpose to the Pelicans to get to play the Thunder, they would have got swept by the Thunder too, it looks like. Nah, not swept. They would have won the first 2 games. They would have had a better shot versus the Thunder than they would versus the Nuggets, that's for sure. But the press conference is always like, hey, did you play your last game as a Laker? First of all, that question always has to be asked. Did you play your last game as a Laker? I'm not going to answer that. And he does a smirk and leaves that. Like, why? It's always a horrible soap opera with him. Just smirk and leave. And now the Lakers have to come out and say, we know we would. They're all in on re-signing LeBron. They said they'll draft Bronny for him, his kid, which nobody else wants to draft. The only reason why you would draft LeBron's son is so you could trade him to the Lakers for a ransom. Literally, a king's ransom. A Lakers king's ransom. So now he's like, oh, I just want to be my family. One kid's trying to decide this. One one's playing volleyball. Now he's all for the family. And he's always for the family, whatever. I wonder why are the Lakers so invested in LeBron? I mean, I get it because he's the LA star and all, but like, oh, they do. They missed the playoffs. They're out in the first round. They did win the bubble tournament. And they won the midseason tournament, the play-in season tournament this year. So I'll give them that. They went down with the heart of a champion of a play-in tournament this year. Somehow the play-in tournament went down. You see the mayor, Bass of L.A., said, at least we won the play-in tournament. And she was not being ironic. Like, yeah, no, that's for children. They have to take that banner down now, right? That's a joke. The play-in tournament banner that just made you play more games in Vegas. Anyway. I have a hot take about the bubble championships, the 2020 COVID championships. None of them would be counted as actual championships if it wasn't won by LA teams. The only reason people still consider that a championship is because LeBron won it and the Dodgers won the World Series. They were not championships. They were, they were the bubble tournament thing, whatever that was. They won that. I'm not taking that away from them. But that wasn't an NBA season. They had like 3 months off in between. Anthony Davis wouldn't have been healthy. Same thing with the Dodgers. They played 60 games and Kershaw was healthy, mid-season form, which he never is at the playoffs. And the only reason why people consider this actual titles is because LA won it. And that's LA. They only think of themselves. They'd have put no extenuating circumstances in there. Anyway, so go ahead. Go ahead, Lakers. Invest in, give another $100 million to LeBron and get his kid on there. Draft the whole family. Make it a barbecue. Make it a whole fun thing. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about today's show. We have the Kentucky Derby. We have NBA and NHL. We have Man in the Box. We have playoffs, which is going on right now. That's right. Make sure to tune in all week to the NBA and Hockey Gaming Podcast for episodes to get you locked in for exciting playoff action. And it is Derby week on the Sports Gaming Podcast. So tune in as the guys get you ready for the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. And how do you do that? You bet the run for the roses with our new sponsor, NYRA Bets. Score on big on the Kentucky Derby with a double dose of rewards. Sign up today for a $25 free bet and $200 deposit bonus with promo code SGPN25. Join now to claim your $25 free bet, $200 deposit bonus at nyrabets.com/SGPN25. You need more? Well, you bet the Kentucky Oats Day with a $30 bonus. Opt in, bet at least $150 each on Belmont and at Big A and Churchill down $30, win or lose. We're giving you an extra $50 for Derby 150. Bet $250 each on Belmont at the Big A in Churchill Downs for a $50 bonus, win or lose. Visit nyrbets.com to opt in. NYRBets has everything you need, fastest 2 minutes of sports with confidence. For expert picks, insights, promotions, more visits, nyrbets.com. Make sure to claim your $25 free bet and $200 deposit bonus at nyrbets.com/SGPN25. All right. I should have got a promo thing for that, but I did not. I want to sign up for that. It was either that or go down to Santa Anita tomorrow, which is always a pain. It's far out there, and then you got to go back in there, and the traffic coming back, and then the Oaks. But then you get to see the ponies. You get to sniff the ponies. You know what I mean? You get to get down in there. Get down in there with the manure.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
You can do that. You know what I mean? And that girl stands up on a stand, and he lay those horns. All right. Should we talk some Kentucky Derby right now, or should we get into the NBA playoffs? I was going to do playoffs first, then the Derby, because there's some games tonight that people need to get to. But that music just is so intoxicating. Maybe I'll talk some Derby. Ah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Let's get into it. Fuck it. Why not? French wants to know, is sniffing ponies a euphemism for snorting coke while wearing pastel suits? You do find out when you talk. Now you find out. You realize there's a lot of sayings that have to do with horses and hay and a glue factory, sniffing glue. The horses. Don't beat a dead horse. You can't lead a horse to water, but you can't force it. A lot of horses were involved in a lot of trade and just a lot of sayings, a lot of hays and whatnots. So Kentucky Derby, first Saturday in May. I always love the don't beat a dead horse, by the way, because there's going to be a lot of beating of horses. That's why PETA gets upset. Everyone gets upset with horse racing once or twice a year when it comes around, when people care about it. It's cruelty to animals. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. Unless you know what a dollar try box is, I don't want to hear your take on what you think cruelty to horses is. They love to run. They love to get whipped and run. They love to get, hey, little mother on the side. It's a little cruel. I'm not going to lie. Only because they race them very young. They do love to run, but they shouldn't be racing at the early age that they are. But this is when they're the fastest. So what can we do? Not our fault. Not our fault. They're the fast. They're as fast when they're that young. You run them young. You run them fast. Never ever go down there. You wear the hats. Get the mint juleps. Very wealthy. Kentucky Derby's very wealthy. Then right outside of Lexington and all that Kentucky, it's not wealthy. There's a very dichotomy between the two, if you will. Fierceness is the favorite. Number 17 horse. Florida Derby winner. He won by like 13 lengths. 5-2. The man in the box gave him out in the future and back a couple months ago at 14-1. So we hope he comes in. Superfecta bomb, says ML. Bomb that. Goddamn right. I'm going to give out some props and some picks. So why not? Let's get into it. What was I saying? Oh, the beating of a dead horse. The beating of Sierra Leone. He's improved every race. He's the second favorite. He's at 3-1. Fierceness has a 17 post. I think I got moved down to 16 because of a scratch. I'm not really sure. Either way, they love talking about how there's never been a 17 winner in the 4,000 years of the Kentucky Derby. First of all, there hasn't been that many horses in the Derby for that long. That's like a modern rule, because now there's like 30 horses. This is what makes Kentucky Derby fun. Is that there's a lot of horses, like over 20 horses, so they can knock around, box each other, and things happen. That doesn't happen in a normal race, so anyone really can win. And since the gambling itself is it's parimutuel. It's called parimutuel betting, which means you're betting against other bettors. So it's all the money that's in the pool, and because there's so much money in the pool, because it's a Kentucky Derby, there's chances to hit big. That's why it's worth going for the superfecta for sure. And we'll give out some superfectas. We'll key them. We don't want to get too expensive. It can get a little too crazy when you start making plays. Like, God damn, because every play seems great. It seems amazing. A couple horses I like. Of course, I like Fierceness. Who doesn't? And Sierra Leone. Number 8, Just a Touch. Everyone likes him. Son of Justify. I found out Justify, which won that Triple Crown. Justify. He's got a lot of kids in this race. He's got kids in the Oaks. He's got kids in the Derbies. He did a lot of horse fucking. A lot of horse play, if you will. Horse play, ass play, breeders play. Justify did it all. That's what they did. He won that Triple Crown. Goes, we'll put him out to stud. And stud he did. My God, he's like Bob Marley. Justify's got kids all over. He's got a kid playing linebacker for Miami. He's got a reggae kid. He's got a kid trying to make a movie about him. He's got kids all over the place. Just Justify. Put in your fucking saddle, Justify. Jesus.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
They sure are, Justify. Jesus Christmas. So there's also props we can do here. Let's take a look at some of these props. What was I talking about? Oh, with the 20 horses. It's funny, in Ireland, they have those super races, they call them. And they have like 60 horses in those races. It's insane. Like, it's guaranteed 3 or 4 are going to die during the race. It lasts like 15, 20 minutes. You can bet during the race. Odds keep changing. Like, yep, we only lost 5. Not a bad race. They go into the woods and they pop out 3 minutes. It's kind of rigged. And they pop out like 5 minutes later. There's like 2 guys who sit by the board. They control all the odds. 2 old men. But, yeah, the horses do die. Send them to the glue factory. People love talking about that. That's an old horse saying, speaking of which. Send them to the glue factory. They don't make glue out of it anymore, of horses anymore. Kind of a shame. At least when they died then, they were dying for a cause. They could get some, help out a kid's art project or something like that. Get some old paste and you sniff that glue. That's what you're talking about, Feech. Sniffing some horse glue. But yeah, they don't make glue out of a horse anymore. I think it would take like 3 horses to make a bottle of glue. Elmer ruined those horse things. The horse deaths. Poor fucking Elmer. Elmer got woke. I don't know what that means. So yeah, they just kill them now. They just kill the horses. You ever see a horse die at a track? It's kind of crazy. They pull the tent over it. They do the shotgun, and it is hello. That's what I do like about the Derby. You can yell. It's yelling at animals, and it's yelling at tiny men. It's one of the rare sports. Obviously, the horse would kill you if it wanted to. But you could yell at free will. You could yell at a jockey. They'll stab you maybe a little bit with a tiny little airplane bottle of liquor. He'll smash that around and give you a little stab. But it's not like football players or fighters or anything like that where those guys would kill you. You could clearly yell at a Junior Vasquez. I think that's a DJ, Junior Vasquez. Anyway, point is, not that you want to, but screaming at animals is great. Come on, showrunner! Catalytic, you son of a bitch! We're gonna kill you after this if you don't hit my exacta. So anyway, let's break down a couple of these horses here. Fierceness, we gotta throw out. You gotta throw them out. I always love when people say that. You gotta throw them out. Anytime people throw things out, there's the ones that usually come in. Like T.O. Password is a Japanese horse. I was like, throw it out. It's coming over from Japan. It won't know what's what. That's the number 10 horse, by the way. He's undefeated. But it's in Asia. Who knows? Yeah, they're like, aren't you jet lagged? Aren't you a little out of sorts when you get off the plane? Imagine being a horse. True. But I tell you what, I'm going to bomb him versus Society Man. Let's see. Who is it? It's Society Man versus T.O. Password. T.O. Password plus 110. Let's bomb that. Let me take a look at Society Man. Real quick. He's a 20 horse. He's a 50-1 shot. Forget that. They might start running the wrong direction, those horses. I mean, that's way out there. So we're going to skip that one. All right, let's look at another prop. Before I get to the actual picks, let me do another prop. So I'm going to go T.O. Password. He's undefeated. People are automatically throwing him out. You're getting plus money. You get him for Society Man, a 50-1 shot who's on the way outside. All right. Another prop that I like. We got Stronghold versus. There's a couple ones. Let's see. Stronghold. Oh, was it up top? Versus Endlessly. Now it's minus 150 the juice here, but Stronghold, he is the, let's see, what horse? He's the 18 horse, which is also a lot, but he's better than most, they say. He broke his main at Churchill before heading to West. Strong credentials. Probably not going to win, but we don't need that. We just need him to beat Endlessly. That's why I like the props. You just need to beat one horse. And Endlessly is the 14. He's taking a big step up in class, they say. He'll need to get much faster if he's going to compete here. Doubtful are the notes. I'm looking at that. Doubtful in all caps. So we're going to try a bomb on that one. And my third bomb, and you'll see this is a little preview of what I actually like here to see. I should put on the. This is where I got my sixer hat. Let me put on my horse racing cap. For everyone on YouTube. Oh, there we go. Nice. Look at that. All right. Honor Marie versus Domestic Product. Honor Marie is the 7 horse. Just missed catching freedom in the Louisiana Derby. Raced 3 times at Churchill Downs. A lot of talent. Clever closer. He's a clever closer. But so we like Honor Marie a lot. What's Domestic Product looking like? Number the 15 horse offers little. Sierra Leone stablemate. Won the Tampa Bay Derby, but who cares about that? They race dogs down there. Low speed figures, just doesn't measure up. So we like this one a lot. This might be my favorite bomb of the Kentucky Derby matchup wise. Honor Marie, minus 150 versus Domestic Product. Bomb. Now, why do I like Honor Marie? Honor Marie's got a story. Honor Marie is now, he's like right 20-1. What is he, 25-1, something like that? 20-1. I've seen him around 20-1. He's got an Irish jockey named Ben Curtis. I like that. I like an Irish jockey. A no-nonsense trader, Whit Beckham. He's like Seabiscuit, this guy. He likes to come from behind. He likes drama. See, kids, you don't understand. Horse racing, this is one of my favorite weekends. I have the fan base of an 85-year-old man. Boxing and horse racing this Saturday. as Canelo fights as well. But there was a time when those were the two biggest sports in the world. Now they're just these weird exhibitions. But you can still bet on them. That's all that matters. And they used to change the economy. We were in a depression. Seabiscuit got us out of depression. A fucking horse. Tobey Maguire. So, what are we going to do here? We are going to play. Now, Honor Marie to win would be pretty amazing. But we're going to have to throw out the favorite Fierceness 17. We already got a future on him. Although, every time I do this, you throw out the favorite, there's a very good chance that they can just come on, just dominate, then you lose all your tickets. But that's not how you win money in this race. You win money by pumping in some long shots, getting a winner, and your favorite not hitting the board. We do like Sierra Leone, who is the second favorite 3 at 3-1. I also like that one horse, Dornach. A lot of people don't like him. People won't like him because it's the one post. You have to really beat a dead horse there. 8, Just a Touch. I said he's the son of Justify. He's the wise guy horse. You always got to like the wise guy horse. Another kid of Justify. There's so many goddamn kids of Justifies. They're all over the place. Look at my notes. Where the hell? I got notes all over the place. Encino 20-1. I like him in some exotics. Forever Young. People like him. He's a Japanese horse people like. He's 5 for 5. But you can't take them all. 18 Stronghold. He's a stalker. You got closers. You got stalkers. You got pace setters. You got leaders. You got sprinters. Mystic Dan. Throw him out. You got to be able to throw horses out. He needs rain, and apparently it is going to rain. If it does rain, I will say that. If it does rain, and it's got to rain right before the race, and it's got to be a monsoon, you throw Mystic Dan in there. Take that for what you will, Sea Generates. If it rains right before the race, and you got an extra $2, put it on the number 3, Mystic Dan. If not, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take the 7, Honor Marie. The number 2, Sierra Leone. And the number 8, Just a Touch. He's the son of Justify. So that's 7, 2, and the 8. Exacta box that. Hope the 7 wins. We're going to take Honor Marie to win because that'd be a much bigger payout. But we'll keep it cheap. Keep it relatively cheap. If you want some superfectas, which we'll do, we'll key it. We'll key to 7 and 2. Over to 7 and 2. Over the 8. 9. 18 Stronghold. If you want some superfectas. So we're going Honor Marie, Sierra Leone, Just a Touch, the 1 Doranche. He's got some speed. And 4. You can't if you're gonna do the exotics, you can't take away the 4. Catching Freedom, who's a closer, won the Louisiana Derby. There's a lot of good horses in here. Not a lot of great horses, but a lot of good horses. Am I saying too many? So that's it. We'll keep it straight. 7, 2, 8. Exacta box. Bang. Bomb that. No sense beating a dead horse. You got my picks. You got my bombs. That's it for the Kentucky Derby. Don't go too crazy on it because I've done that many a time at an OTB at Old Mudbones in Chicago. Old Catfish was there. And old Johnny, ring that bell, Johnny. I love an OTB. It's a shame. People are mad there's no more Blockbuster videos. I'm mad there's no more OTBs. That was America. That was the real, those are some real degenerates. There are hipsters in Brooklyn and Los Feliz out here that pay hundreds of dollars for outfits that people in OTBs wear for $5 their entire lives. They're the real deal. It's a shame there's no more OTBs. So now you sign up for that deal that we got going. Like I said, beating a dead horse. No sense beating a dead horse. I just love that saying. No sense beating a dead horse. There's no sense in doing it. It's already dead. It can't feel, it won't learn anything because it's dead, probably from you beating on it. You beat it so much that it's now dead. There's an alive horse over there. Why don't you go beat that? That makes sense. Beat the hell out of a live horse. Then it'll learn. It'll run faster. I just love that they did it so much. They beat on horses so much. And dead horses at that. That they had to come up with a saying. That everyone knew. It was universal. Well, yeah, that's wise. No need. No sense beating a dead horse like everyone does all the time. Grover the dog chipping in says justifies the Antonio camaraderie of horse racing with those kids. Yeah, he does not miss. Justified. All these horses, they go to stud, but Justified, he's making kids, even when they tied his tubes. Remember that camaraderie? They tied his tubes. He still slipped one past the goalie. Justified's got, he's going to win this Derby and yoke somehow. He's got more than half the field covered. JC from KC says, oh, Jesus, man, this is already slipping away from me. All right, so those are the Derby picks. We like Anna Marie, the 7 horses, an upset to win with Sierra Leone to 2 and just a touch, number 8, the son of Justify, to get in there. And if you want some exotics, you toss it into 1, the 4, even the 9, all kinds of things. But anyway, now let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. Now let me put a thing up that says Underdog Fantasy. That says that. And I'll switch hats. Let me switch hats. Yeah, I'll keep this Horta hat on. I'll just put the Sixer hat. Oh, boy. What am I doing? I keep hitting things that are wrong. NBA playoffs are here, and our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy, wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Play the pick'em game. Simple, selecting higher or lower on the players' stats like points, rebounds, assists, and so much more. Make entries of basketball, mix or match across your favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. Underdog is available in 30-plus states, including California, Texas, and even Canada. Underdog is available in 30-plus states. Player-to-player format. Make sure you sign up with my code BOMBS, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code BOMBS, BOMBS. We go higher or lower. You want to do one? All right. I gave you my Derby bombs. They're all going to hit. Now let's sign up to, boy, I bricked out on a few of these. Let's do a couple for tonight's NBA games. Let me hide that. Let me do this. Share the screen, and we'll do it. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see. Wait. What do we want to do? We want to remove one of these things, right? There we go. There we go. There's the Underdog Fantasy. Sorry. Yeah. Breaking news: Damian Lillard is playing tonight, but they didn't give him a number. Let's go to Joel Embiid. 47.5 points, rebounds, and assists. What will Joel Embiid do tonight? What will Tobias Harris do? Nothing. He does nothing. He's at 12.5 points. You know, for no reason. I don't want to mess with Joel Embiid because he's hurt. He might show out tonight. He might not. I don't know where his head's at. He's praising New York. I don't like it. Tobias Harris has been absolute garbage. He can't continue to do that, can he? Yes, he can. We're going to hire Tobias Harris 12.5, though. Why not? Are there no Knicks players for crying out loud? Oh, here's Damian Lillard. 22.5. 5.5 first quarter points. We'll do that. That sounds good. Damian Lillard over higher. I'm sorry, lawyers. Higher than 5.5 first quarter points, because you don't want to do his total game because you never know what his legs are. He's coming back from injury, but he will start. So all we need is 6 points in the first quarter from Damian Lillard versus the Pacers. Come on. Let's bang that out. That plays 3-1. Let's do that. And Tobias Harris over 12.5. I would like that. Putting 50 on that. Get my bankroll up for the Derby. How about that? Cash me outside. All right, let's remove that. And how do we remove it? Bang! There we are. We're back to the bottom line. Oh, I'm supposed to mark that. 36 minutes. All right, 36 minutes. Let's write that down. Write that down in the thing. Oh, sorry. I really have a lot of paper. You know, I'm the guy with the papers and the passion. I'm the analog man here at SGPN. I got my clipboard here. I got papers. When it comes to horse racing, I have a lot of papers, a lot of pens. No way about do I put that in any kind of computers. So here we are. Now let's get into it. All right, we got to talk some NBA and NHL. Let me put the Sixers hat on for this one because they play tonight. The Bucks Pacers is at 6, I believe. Let's see what the NBA lines are. It was 8.5, but the Damian Lillard noise brought it to 6. But so I'm not even going to give out a pick on that one. But tonight, Sixers Knicks. We got to talk Sixers Knicks. What a game! We had the Knicks -4 last game. We have Philly in the series, so we just keep losing left and right. Philly's coming back. They're -3 tonight. We're going to take them again at home just because what a devastating loss that was for the Knicks fans. It was amazing. Philly's season was over as well as it should be. They're doing the same shit. Embiid having a horrible game. I know it was a triple-double, but his turnovers, he just looks like, I mean, I know he's hurt. People don't, I love when people talk about that, though, about Embiid. They don't really respect it because and I will say it's because he's unlikable sometimes. He's very likable, but he's also hard to root for with his cheap shots and the way he complains and whines. But he is hurt. He's never healthy in the playoffs. His body's not meant to go 100 games running up and down. And he just had surgery. He just got back a couple weeks ago. That being said, Tyrese Maxey with the miracle. 7 points in the last 28 seconds. Sent it to overtime. Then they win in overtime. And then Knicks, it was so amazing because I'm done with these Sixers. They always choke in the end. But I have to stay with them just to prevent Knicks fans from winning. And you saw a peak of it. You saw... I mean, they've been insufferable. Every 20, 25 years, they remind you how insufferable they are, Knicks fans, because they haven't won anything. Like I said, they're like Yankee fans, just without all those pesky titles to back them up. They have no championships. I mean, yeah, they won like in 73 or whatever the hell it was. But God, are they loud and obnoxious. And their celebrity row, oh my God. They have John McEnroe, Jon Stewart, Tracy Morgan, and Ben Stiller. And Tyrese Maxey shut them all up. And it was amazing. And everyone was memes. Stewart was a meme. He was funny. It's like they've never experienced a loss before. Don't you notice what you guys do? You lose. But they were actually never in a playoff situation. So that was fun. To see the New York celebrity, Julianne Moore. Hilarious. And when they lose, they cannot handle losing well. They're so loud and obnoxious. Philly fans, listen, we know what losing is, and we'll handle losing fine. We'll attack our own. We'll fucking throw Embiid under the bus. We'll throw Tobias under the bus. We'll throw everyone out our own. New York, they blame everyone else. No, you got to blame yourself. You got to be angry at yourself. You got to hate yourself more. That's the problem with New York. You love yourself too much. You're so fucking loud. It's weird. Stop loving yourself. You hate others, but you hate others because they're not you. That's the difference between New York and everyone else, or at least Philly. Philly hates themselves, but they don't like when everyone else tries to get in on it. You know, hey, we hate ourselves. You don't get to hate us. We get to hate us. So it's been a great series, very low scoring. The total for this game is what, 201.5. We're going to take Philly -3. Late start, 9:30 Eastern. What a horrible. I mean, could I just say it's just for money and for TV? So the big story, of course, is Knicks fans coming down to Philly. And how can Philly fans allow this? I love when people yell at fans what to do with their tickets and money. Knicks fans travel well. No, these Knicks fans that show up to Philly don't go to the Garden because they're not spending $4,000 for these seats. They can afford games in Philly. You can't afford games in New York. You can't afford anything in New York. Like I say, every 30 years, they climb out from underneath a rock, which they pay $3,500 a month to live under. That's a rent joke. Not like rent's cheap in LA. But yeah, that's who these fans are. These fans are living in New Jersey, and they come out because they can actually afford it. So now I had the owner come out and said, well, it's not happening this time. He bought up 2,000 tickets. 2,000 tickets that they put on the market. And he's going to give them to Philly first responder. I love to keep saying first responders. I guess just a general charity swipe. Amazing. Anyway, should be a great game. So let's take Sixers -3, bomb that. Like the other game, I do like the Bucks trying to keep it close. I predicted Doc Rivers is going to do the reverse 3-1. What else is tonight? Is there a hockey tonight? I'm sure. Or Toronto, Boston. That's tonight. We're going to take Boston in that one as well. No Austin Matthews, -115. We had him game 5. They blew it. Toronto likes to lose at home. That's a situation there with the Maple Leafs. In the bet detective conspiracy where they don't want a Canadian team to win. Maybe because your Canadian teams just don't win. They're all Canadian players. It's not like American teams have American players. Like I said before, American hockey fans would love for a Canadian team to win. We're not even sure what's going on. We feel bad. Like, all right, I guess we'll keep winning. I mean, we don't really know the rules, but sure. We have teams in Florida that dominate. Makes sense. All right, let's do a couple previews for the bombs over the weekend. Bombs over the weekend. Clippers Mavs last night. See, the Clippers got embarrassed last night. This is what you got to look for in the NBA motivation wise. So now the Mavericks are laying 7.5. Now it's up to 8. Money line +270. James Harden, Paul George, awful. Barkley and Shaq ripped on them, saying how terrible they were. You know what I love about Stephen A. Smith? He basically just because everyone wants to be Barkley and those guys and they all want to be them. So they just echoes their same sentiments, but it's like 24 hours later. Like Barkley and Shaq are doing it. They're immediately reacting, so the emotions make sense. When you're doing the emotions the day later, it's obvious acting, and it's not even your original thought. I mean, whatever. I don't get too upset about it. Anyway, Clippers Dallas. Line's 8. We're going to take the Clippers +8 to bounce back. Why? Because they were embarrassed by Charles Barkley and Shaq and Black Twitter. And that's who runs this league. Like I said, NBA players don't respond to coaches yelling at them. They don't give a fuck about the coaches. They'll get the coaches fired. Darvin Ham, you're fired. Frank Vogel, you're fired. I don't care if you just signed a $30 million deal. That's why the Suns got swept. Because they don't respond to coach. They were embarrassed by TNT. They flew under the radar. Afterwards, now they're getting embarrassed. But when they're like the Pelicans, they were humiliated by Barkley with the Galveston, Texas shit. So now they do it with Clippers. And that's what Harden did. We said this. Harden has a game, then he doesn't have a game. Now it'll be his chance to have a game. And maybe Luka won't. So we'll take the 8 points. That's a huge swing of his point spread. We'll take the Clippers +8. What else is tomorrow? Cleveland, Orlando. Good Lord. Orlando -4, game 6. I guess it's a good series. Like I said, I'm not sure it's actually occurring, but if you say so, where is this happening? On Tubi? NBA TV, True TV. Where is this? Where are these games? They just tell us the score. All right, Evan Movey had a block. They won by one. Did they? All right, I'll trust you. Sure. If you say so, NBA. It seems like it's just like a simulated season, like on a video game, this series. So I guess they're going to play again. Orlando has been playing better. Way better since they got down there. We'll take them. -4, bomb Orlando. Saturday night begins the nice series in Nuggets Minnesota. My T-Wolves. I do have to make a claim about that T-Wolf hat. I'll tell you, I'll wait till next week when we talk Nuggets T-Wolves. Well, because I don't have it on. I have my Sixers hat on here, which looks pretty big. This is a Mitch and Ness. Very hip hop design, please, Mitch and Ness, which there's one on Fairfax now. Mitchell and Ness. I don't even know how to say it right. That's how hip I am. My Timberwolves hat, which I wore last game, I said I wore in the box. I made a story that a fan sent it in. It was a bet for me that I had to wear it in the box, which is true. But he's also a friend. I'm going to give him a shout out, Dan Batanti, or as I call him, Fan Batanti. He lives in Minnesota, originally from Jersey. Old number 11, old Danny Batanti. I got a great Dan Batanti, Frank Batanti story. Thank God for Sadowski. His dad, Frank Batanti, and my dad, Charlie Sullivan, the Connecticut Cruncher, who was the original Kentucky Derby handicapper. He used to, my dad would record the games, football games we played in. Old Dan was old number 11, Dan Batanti. I was old 78. And they used to stand next to each other, do color commentary and all that, Hey, what do you think, Frank? Yeah, or up the middle again. What do you know? Old Moke the Joke. That's what he would say. Moke the Joke, because our coach's name was Marty Moke. Oh, what do you guess? Up the middle? Yep. Fooled him again. Up the middle. Up. Old Moke the Joke. I say this because they would rip on the coach, who like all parents did in the stands as they're filming it. One time, our junior year opening, we played Cherry Hill West, and somehow the coach's tapes got lost. Monday's film room day. You want. Although you're gonna get yelled at during film session day, you don't have to practice. So we needed to film, and word got out during school that day that there was no tape, and we're gonna have to practice. Like, oh no, fuck, we were scattling. And then I was like, oh wait a minute, my dad records the games. Maybe I can get my hands on that tape. Called my mom, God bless her. She ran the tape up to school, up to Eustis High. And I got the tape from Charlie Sullivan tape at Cherry Hill West Eustis. And we get it, and coach is like, Moke's like, sure, let's do it. We're in the film room. They wheel in the TV on the cart, pop in the tape, and it starts off with my dad, Charlie Sullivan, the Connecticut Cruncher, and Frank Batanti. All right, opening weekend here, Cherry Hill West versus Bishop Eustis. Wins over end. Here's the opening kick to the 20, the 30. No. Oh, God. Woo. Thank God for Sadowski on the tackle. All right. And then it was just a series of Moke the Joke up the middle. He needs to be fired. This is happening during film session. Everyone's laughing. I'm not laughing. Coaches are furious. Players are laughing. Coaches are rushing over to coaches are rushing over trying to stop, turn down the volume. Get my dad's and Frank Batanti's bullshit commentary. Out of the room, and so they could break down film. But it's like those old TVs in the 90s. There's big, those baby killers that would weigh 100 pounds, and the buttons were like pushed in, so you need like a pencil to get in there and hit the volume down. So Tom, our offensive coordinator, trying to get it with the pencil. We couldn't. It's just them ripping on Moke. Oh, another play to the left. Way to go, Moke. What a joke. Eventually, they just pulled the plug. No more film session. We had to go run, and I didn't start another game the rest of the year. Thanks to the commentary of Charlie Sullivan, the Connecticut Cruncher, and Frank Batanti. of old number 11. That's what Frank would say. Old number 99. Old number 11. Danny Batanti. Anyway, he lives in Minnesota now, Dan Batanti, and he gave me a Minnesota Timberwolves hat that was a size 8. And he's like, "You're the only one I know that could fit into this hat. It's more than a bowl of soup. This is like a barrel of fucking a barrel of pickles at a grocery store. You got to know it fits 3 of our heads in there." So when I went golfed with him one time in Minnesota, he gave me the hat. It kind of fits. It looks kind of perfect. But yeah, people think of me when they think of like, oh, this hat's too big. I'll give it to CJ. I'll give it to the man in the box. His head. There was a running joke in high school. They used to say my head size was 9 3/8. 9 3/8. I saw it. I got a special helmet. 9 3/8. It's not that big. Well, it's pretty close. Like I said, the size 8 kind of fit. Anyway, that was a quick story I wanted to retell. So it wasn't a fan of saying it was Dan Batanti. Shout out to Dan Batanti on number 11. I'll send him his clip and he'll feel good. He said he likes to shout out. See, I don't know if I should mention names on this show sometimes. That's why I said fan originally, anonymous. Some people don't like their spot blown up. They have other jobs and whatnot. And he says, no, he likes it because it reminds other people that he's alive. And there's the only other way to do it. He's an introvert. He's on the Timberwolves bandwagon. He lives in Minnesota. And he's like, listen, if he played for New York or LA, Anthony Edwards, they'd be talking about him like he's Max Jordan. They'd be talking how great Anthony Edwards is. Like, they are talking about how great Anthony Edwards is. You're just in bed when those comments happen. Yeah, you're right. These people are talking. You're just not hearing it. All right. So that wraps that up. We're taking the Clippers +8. We're taking Orlando -4, Sixers -3 tonight. And Boston Bruins in hockey. Also, we're taking the Nashville Predators. That's my bomb of the weekend, -125. Tomorrow night. Bomb of the weekend, Nashville Predators, as they come back to beat Vancouver. Vancouver's up 3-2. They probably should have lost every single game in the series. It's amazing. So I love Nashville -4. So that's being so probably lose. All right, let's go to the box. I want to play that Smarty Jones. That's my other hat. I should put that on there. Let me rock that little hat. I'll keep the Sixers hat on for one good measure. There's a Smarty Jones hat. Phillies champion. I love these. I love like the budget, like bootlegged hats and gear. Smarty Jones was a horse from Philly they got behind for the Triple Crown. I just love when rallying around a horse is always great. Anyway, thank you, C. Generates. I am here wrapping up the show. I'll do a man in the box segment. There's a couple of stories I wanted to talk about. Speaking of hockey, I like when the hockey series ends. The handshakes. There's always the handshakes, you know. And then the press conference. Tampa Bay. John Cooper the coach. He got in a little hot water. He was talking about, he said they should put skirts on the goalies because they had a couple of goals overturned because of goalie interference. Can't say skirts anymore. Can't be sexist. Can't say the women are the weakest. It is sexist, but then Cooper's like, all right, well, so that means can we hit him? Is that what that means? There's nothing funnier than hockey coach apologies for their old school way of thinking. Hockey personalities in general, because they don't believe it, but it's so gritted teeth. His apology. Usually an apology, you don't bring up what you said. You just said, I made some unfortunate comments. He goes, as you know, we had a pretty disappointing series loss the other night, and I made an appropriate analogy about goalies and skirts. Okay? One of those moments. If you could reach back, grab the words back, I would have. Father of 2 and a massive supporter of women's hockey and girls who play sports, quite frankly, was wrong. I got to explain myself to my girls. You will explain to her. Women cry a lot and get fouls. That's what you explain to them. Just kidding. Men cry more when it comes to fouls and stuff like that. Women are actually a lot tougher when it comes to sports. But they play dirty. I didn't want to talk about that. But I do like the handshake line. Oh, the handshakes. Let's see him. Just 50 men shaking 50 men's hands, one glove on another. One glove on another. Now, there's an apology that made no sense. Keyshawn Johnson, who's an open Laker fan, on whatever Skip Bayless show, whatever fucking show goes on Fox Sports. I don't even know the lineups over there. When he heard Jamal Murray was hurt, he started cheering. Good. He didn't, he was happy because then the Lakers have a chance. And I actually support it. He got a lot of shit for that. Like, another player, Rudy, you should never root for another injury. Which, yeah, of course, you don't want someone to get hurt. But also, it's the only way your team can win. Do you not want your team to win? Yeah, you don't want something bad to happen to someone, but you also want your team to win, and you're not going to win if they're healthy. So he got a lot of shit for that, Keyshawn. So he went to explain. He didn't apologize, but he did try to explain it, and his explanation was insane. You see why I didn't want him yesterday? Why you gave me all the news and potential injury was questionable? That's why I didn't want to play. I knew if he played, it was going to be rough. You're never going to root for an athlete as a fan or even player to get injured. But at the same time, if he gives us an edge because he's hobbled, I'll take that. I'll take hobbled, but he wasn't hobbled. God damn it. He didn't cheer hard enough. See, I'm actually support Keyshawn in this. This is a positive man in a box. There's no other way you're going to win the game unless hurt. That's why the Lakers should have, like I said, should have tanked early on. Like, oh, we got to play the Nuggets eventually. Yeah, you do, but maybe they'll be hurt by then. Maybe we can get lucky and someone will blow a knee out or something. That's the only way you could fucking win. There's no need to curse right there. Seersucker suits, they say in the commentary. Yeah, I'm not gonna. The man in the box will not have a seersucker suit on Saturday, or the mint juleps. A lot of sugar in those mint juleps. Just want to give a warning to all you degenerates out there that might be enjoying the Derby. One more time. I can't get enough of those horns.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Incredible. I want to play it up. That doesn't mean it's over with. But I want to thank all the CJNX for watching. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at CJ Sullivan _ at Instagram at CJ Sullivan was taken. Subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs podcast with CJ Sullivan on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up like button here on YouTube. Give me the likes, the algorithms, the whole goddamn thing. What did I want to say? I think I said enough with the OTBs and all that stuff like that. Yeah, follow all the shows, UFL, the college experience. Follow me along. I feel like I'm running out of energy. It's the Derby. That's why. The protests aren't as much. I guess there hasn't been enough. There hasn't been enough death this year. Last year was a lot of horse deaths at Santa Anita. And then every time they protest, I'm like, yep, that's what they do. They die. That's what happens. Remember that show Lucky on HBO? Good show. But then they had to cancel because all those horses were dying, and like Hollywood they just didn't understand that's what happens. And the people that run a horse like, yeah, that's what happens. They freak out and then they die. Then we have to kill them. It's the only way to do it. This is par for the course. Oh, you didn't know that? Oh yeah. Horses die all the time. We kill them. We kill horses like that. This means nothing. Yes, Freach Lamanna, we're rocking some Sixers. You're goddamn right we are. -3. Why not? That series has to go 7. That's just the way it is. If it goes 6 tonight, although it is late, City never sleeps. I feel like they will be better at night, late night. So it's going to be a rowdy house tonight. Let's take Philly -3. Bomb that. Other than that, I'm going to hit you up a song, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. Good luck, everybody. Enjoy the weekend in the Derby. Bye.